but they play some of the dumbest basketball I've ever seen. And he's completely right. Yep. It's just... So that's actually a good place to transition into Bucks Nets from last night. And the news that came out before the game was that James Harden had been upgraded from out to doubtful to questionable with that hamstring. He ended up playing. Not only did he end up playing, played 46 minutes. Did not look like James Harden of old. Finished with 5 points on 1 of 10 shooting, 0 of 8 from 3. 8 assists, 6 rebounds, 4 turnovers. But
I don't know, Brian. His post defense looked pretty good.
So good, in fact, that he waved off help against Giannis late in the game, which we'll get back to in a minute. But the number one story coming out of that game is Kevin Durant, the easy money sniper. 49 points on 16 of 23 shooting, 17 rebounds, 10 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. I believe he's the first player in NBA history to have at least 45, 15, and 10 in a playoff game. He played all 48 minutes afterwards. Steve Nash said, obviously that wasn't ideal, but if he doesn't play all 48 minutes, they don't win that game. And I think that is a completely accurate assessment. Was there anything that the Bucks could have done last night against Kevin Durant? Or is that just like one of these all-time great, you are not stopping me, I'm a 7-footer with perfect unlimited range?
No, I think you can always do something. I think the fear was that if you got the ball out of his hands, Jeff Green really would show that I can hit long-range shots all game long if I want to. And also Blake Griffin, for that matter. So I think there was a fear that if we make him give up the ball, the guys are going to be able to shoot it instead. But you know what, Brian? If I'm the Bucks, I'm okay with that. I think they should have doubled or tripled, hell, I don't even know, quadrupled Durant. I mean, this was one of those games where I felt they were just not being very creative in the way that they guarded him. They cycled a bunch of defenders onto him, where I was just, there was no cohesion there. There was really no set pieces. I sent you a stat. I don't even remember who had it. Let me just go dig it up. It was on Twitter. I sent you this sheet a little bit earlier in the day. There we go. It's actually for people breakdown. So PJ Tucker it's amazing. So PJ Tucker defended Durant on, this is only shooting possessions. So it's not overall non-shooting possessions. So Tucker defended Durant on 7 shooting possessions. Durant finished 5 of 7. Brook Lopez guarded KD on 5 shooting possessions. KD went 5 for 5. Middleton was also on 5. KD went 3 for 5. Connaughton guarded 3. Durant was 2 of 3. Then Giannis had only 2 possessions on him, where KD went 0 for 2. That's interesting. And then, what's his first name? Elijah Bryan?
Elijah Bryan.
Yeah, exactly. 1 possession, and he was just 1 of 1. But you know what? That one I kind of get.
Yes.
That's okay. But the point here is, I think it's fine. You try to switch. Obviously, you want to have a certain number of guys on him over the course of a game, especially because KD played all 48 minutes. But, if it's not working, which it clearly didn't, you need to do something else. If you have PJ Tucker on him for 7 shooting possessions and he goes 5 of 7, and Lopez on 5 and he goes 5 for 5, then that's not good enough. That's 12 possessions right there that could have gone somewhere else, or you could have gone with a different action. I don't know what the answer is. If I did, I'd be an NBA head coach, and I'm certainly not of that caliber. X's and O's were never my strong suit. But to me, when you have a guy that good, and when you have a roster that lacking, because James Harden couldn't hit jack, he was moving around like I was, that was just super bad. Double him, take the ball out of his hands, whatever you need to do, just get the ball out of Kevin Durant's hands instead of letting him get to his spots and just rise up. He looked like Chris Paul out there, just in terms of, okay, I see that I can take 1 dribble to the right and then I can pull up right inside the arc. That's good. I had that pull up all game long. And he did. For fuck's sakes, he did. It was there all game long. Where's your adjustment? I'm out on Bud, as we know now. I'm completely out here.
Yes.
But Brian Sampson, one of our colleagues over at Forums, known as Bucks Film Room, no, he's a good guy. He said something interesting today. He said more or less that if the Bucks don't win the title, like, then that's the end of Bud. Like that is, it's not just making the finals anymore, it's winning it. And outside of that, adios Bud.
I want to remember. I think, I'm going to double check to make sure I get the attribution right. But I'm pretty sure it was Justin Rowan of the Chase Down pod, the Cavs pod, tweeted last night, even if they win the finals, they should still fire Bud.
You know what? I don't even necessarily disagree.
Right? I don't either. Yeah, he was saying, like, look, you gotta look at the process over the results. Like, they might be able to overcome Bud's nonsense because of all of these injuries across the league.
Right.
But the process was not good. Like, I agree with you. To some extent, that was just an all-time great Kevin Durant performance. And I don't want to say it was like the Bucks just played terrible defense and that's why.
Oh, no.
Because, no, like, I don't think they were going to stop Kevin Durant either way, even if you sent doubles or triples at him. But I will say, especially in the second half, as you could really see him start to get going. When it's just like he knew exactly how to break down their defense every time, regardless of how they changed how they were defending him. So at first, they were setting screens way high up, way beyond the three-point line, and he knew he could get a switch, and he'd be switched on to Brook Lopez, who was going to be dropping. And that's when he started that Chris Paul like mid-range onslaught. So then Bud takes him out and stops switching, like puts Middleton on him and stops switching. And he was still able to get through and just get whatever he wanted. Like, there was just no good answer. And I know a lot of NBA players in particular, who was it? It was CJ McCollum, right? During the game was like, this guy was, you got the reigning defensive player of the year. You're not putting him on KD. But to be fair, I mean, Nate Jones of, I think it's Goodwin Sports, was tweeting a lot that, like last night and this morning, that's just not Giannis's strength. He's much better as an interior defender. He's using his size and his strength. But, you know, asking him to keep up with KD, there was a clip that was circulating on Twitter earlier of a possession from Game 2 where Giannis was guarding KD out on perimeter.
Oh, right. Where he finished with the reverse.
Yeah, just blows right by him. Yeah. Like, I mean, Giannis was probably trying to be a little, like, too in his grill and too physical, and you could probably coach him to, like, okay, let's just stand back a little bit and, you know, give yourself some room because he has that quick first step still. It was just, the defense was bad. The Bucks offense is absolutely infuriating. And that's where I think, you know, all of the criticism about Bud and his lack of adjustments is completely valid. But dear God, they just play. I mean, the guys on Inside the NBA at the half, like they were up, 16 points at halftime, and Charles Barkley's like, he's like, the Bucks, I think they're going to win this game. They're probably going to win the title, but they play some of the dumbest basketball I've ever seen. And he's completely right. Yeah. It's just. Giannis,
when a person you don't like makes a good point. Where's that
right. Giannis, with like the 3-point shots, especially like early in the shot clock, late in the game, it was just like he wanted to play hero ball, and that's we've seen that enough times to know that should be coached out of him, and it hasn't been yet. But again, the Sixers fell into the same trap, and we'll get into that shortly. But like, all of them really started to try to play hero ball and stopped passing, just went into isolations. Like Giannis trying to take James Harden in the post. James Harden, who can't move. The only thing he could do is just stand still, but he has the upper body strength. That's been his strength defensively.
Yeah, his one strength, his long defensive strength.
Right. Yeah. And then there was one possession where I think Giannis started to post him, got stonewalled, pulled out, ran a pick and roll with Pat Connaughton. Pat Connaughton just blew right by James Harden, got to the basket. Like, James Harden could not move last night. How are you not attacking him every single possession on pick and rolls? It's absurd. Like, it's so dumb. It's just bad basketball. And they frankly deserve to lose that game. And if they do the same crap tomorrow night, they deserve to lose this series. They deserve all of the slander coming their way. Bud deserves to be fired. Like, this is just egregious mismanagement because the field is wide open right now. This is probably their best chance ever to win a title. They may never have a chance as good as this right now, and they are one game away from blowing it.
Yeah. I need to go back to my PJ Tucker thing. I know I was on him last episode, and then he responded, which I was really happy to see because they looked better when he was hitting corner shots and actually contributing offensively.
Yeah.
I understand that PJ Tucker isn't the most egregious decision that they made in keeping him in there. He played 33 minutes last night. No assist, no points. I understand that there are a laundry list of things that goes wrong as well outside of that. But look, you cannot have a guy play almost 3 quarters in an NBA playoff game, not score, not assist, not do anything. And like we already know, defensively, he's fine, he's okay, but it's not enough. You're playing 4-on-5 offensive basketball, and like the guys that you have, your primary guys, Giannis, Middleton, Drew, who I love all of those guys. Let's agree they're pretty robotic. Like, these aren't guys who can sort of snake their way through defenses like a Chris Paul. Like, they just can't.
Yeah.
So you need to do something. Like, no minutes at all for Bobby Portis? Are you freaking kidding me when you needed offense? What's the justification at this point? Like, I know, PJ Tucker defense, honor, rah. That's BS, man. That's BS. You need points. You need to be able to have a floor spacer. You know who can space the floor for you? Bobby Portis. You know who can also get you points near to the basket? Bobby Portis. This is ridiculous. I am so tired of this defensive narrative BS in the NBA playoffs every single year. Oh, all we need is defense. They'll be fine. No, that's really old-fashioned. Get with the program. Get more scoring in. Give your guys a chance because nobody is rotating out to the corner for PJ Tucker anymore. That one game, what was it, 19 points? Was it 19 he had or something along those lines? 17, 8, 19?
Yeah, I don't remember. I want to say 14 or so. I don't remember either.
All right. Well, now I'm going to look it up. It's going to annoy me. 13.
13.
Okay. Oh, yeah. See,
a whopping 13.
A whopping 13, but for me it felt like 19 because oh my god,
he scored.
He's hitting shots. No, but like that's just not okay. You can't justify this. You can't. Like, he's not playing some level of elite Draymond Green defense. He's not. If this was Draymond, fine. I can live with that because he's an anomaly. He's a glitch in the matrix. PJ Tucker is not. Like, stop it. Just stop it. This is dumb.